Hello, it's Sebastian, also TK11697, and today we're going to go over the trimming of a Walts Trooper Factory TIE Fighter helmet. So, pieces you're going to get is the Stormtrooper face mask, the ears, the two sides, and the mohawk. You're going to have to craft some of these pieces up here to put them together, about a 2 and I'd say 3/4 inch strips, about an inch wide. You're gonna need about 4 or 5 of them. This is a finished helmet. It's not it's sort of like a scrap helmet to test things on. First thing you want to do is trim down the hemispheres. Now this is an untrimmed hemisphere. You're gonna get it. You're gonna want to cut off the flash on the side, so you get about an inch over here, and the helmet facing you head on is going to look like this. Now, when you trim it down, you need to make room for the side of the face mask. So, the trim lines, look at this here, looking head on, will look more like this. And what you've done is you've cut out this front part, put a little bit of an angle on it. It's easier to see here. Just a small angle, because it's going to let the mohawk sit a little easier. The top part that goes across the brow is going to be cut down to a few millimeters. You can make it thicker, but if you look at all the reference pictures from the movies, I mean, it's pretty thin, almost to the point where there's no return edge at all. I like to leave about 1 or 2 millimeters. The sides are going to be cut down. Don't cut them down too much, just enough to, I mean, you can see it in the armor, like the way it's cast. Just let it bulge out towards the bottom there, just to cover up spaces. And if you cut it too much, like we did on this helmet, you'll see that it leaves a bit of a gap. You don't want to do that. I mean, it's not going to be the end of the world if you do, but I just think it looks silly. Then, here's the untrimmed hemisphere again. You're going to notice on the, here there's 6 indentations, 3 on the top and 3 on the bottom, and then you've got these 2 bumps over here. And what you want to do is, with a marker, is draw down from the 2nd indentation, have it curve down to the bottom one all the way towards the back, then curve out around here, and then trim off the extra here. You could do it all in pretty much 1 or 2 cuts, and then, you know, if you have a belt sander available, you trim it, you could smooth it out real nice. But I'll show you them side by side. So it should give you an idea of what you should cut. Now, from this point on, is going to be covered by the ears. So if you trim too much or too little, you know, don't go crazy over it. It's going to be almost completely hidden. You're not going to actually see anything again in the helmet until you get to this dimple in the back, and then you cut around. Even this is the bottom of the helmet, so this is going to be covered ideally with U trim or S trim. So again, don't go too crazy over getting it perfectly smooth or perfectly flat. It's this top part here you really want to focus on. This is what people are going to see. So in this helmet here, again, I've got it trimmed down the way it's screen accurate. It's pretty thin. So unfortunately the helmet, this is more of a repair job, so again we screwed up the side parts here. Now once you've done that, you're going to take the mohawk, and the mohawk is going to come looking like this. You know, you cut out the side parts here. I said again, don't worry about this because 90% of this is going to go, and you want to make it look like this. It can go between, I guess, 6 and 9 inches. Just, you're cutting these parts out here is optional. You could leave this this part here. I've done that on a few helmets. You want the side to look like this. It should be in line with the pieces on the bottom. That's the angle you're going for, and leave about an inch on the side. So you turn this into this. You said measure down the middle. The pen, measure it out. It said short, medium, or long mohawk. It's just a personal preference. I don't think there's anything in the CRL about that. Then the ears. The ears answer one question right off the bat that I had, is one ear, the ear that's going to be on this side of the helmet, is going to be smaller than the ear on this side of the helmet. So you can have a small ear, which your small ear is going to wind up being, well, it's going to be about the same for trimming anyway. What you want to do is cut out this part so that you've got, you know, the most amount of space available while leaving this lip on the top here. As you can see, here's the trimmed ear. And then you're going to cut out this portion down here, but again, leaving a lip so it looks like that. And as you can see from here, the ear is going to cover, you know, this cut that's on the side of the hemisphere anyway. Like I said, it's don't kill yourself over it being perfect. It doesn't even need to be rounded, I guess. I mean, I've seen it rounded. I've always done it rounded, but you probably, and just for anyone that's trimming anything, so you know, right angles are terrible for plastic because it's a point where the plastic can crack. So out of habit, I kind of round everything off. Same thing with the eyes. I like to keep everything rounded on the face mask because, you know, after a while, the pressure up here could split. I've seen it happen. I had it happen on my first TK helmet. And that's it. Said everything gets screwed into place, as you can see on the top here. These screws are going to get covered by greeblies. These screws you're going to have to paint black. I normally will cut out the. I like to cut out this part here with the teeth, and I like to screen it in the back to give a little more airflow. And of course here you're going to completely cut these out. Now this would be a little different. I didn't cut back a swoop here. I might do it eventually, but originally I was going to make this into a different kind of tie helmet, a Baron Suntir Fell, but now I don't think I'm going to do that. So these are the parts. I said this is a untrimmed helmet here. Again, a lot of this is going to be hidden by the helmet. The tie helmet is absolutely huge. I have a big head, and you know, have to turn the helmet sideways, regular TK helmet sideways, but the tie helmet is absolutely tremendous on the inside. You're going to have plenty of spaces for fans and microphones and whatever else you want to put in here. As you can see here, this is where you're taking your bridging strips and gluing them across so that they meet up. That's why you want to keep this lip here. It's usually like a 1-inch lip on the side of the helmets. You're going to need it to put the helmet together. Then you're going to take about a 3-inch, maybe like a 1.5 foot by 3-inch wide strip to cover this entire helmet. Use E6000 even if you are good enough to use CA glue, because if you screw it up, well, it's going to make the helmet look pretty awful. E6000 and a lot of patience is what's required to get that right. And then the mohawk, typically this part here is cut out. The mohawk will sit nicely there, especially if you've got, you know, about a 45-degree angle. Let it just slide on. So I think that's it. This is definitely not my best video. It's, you know, maybe I'll do a better one in the future. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them in that that better video to be announced. All right.